Hello there, thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm Tim, not that you can see me, here at Digital Armour. Today we've got another old school CCG magazine, and this is the Duelist from October 1998. So we got unglued, unveiled, so that was possibly the second unset, I think. Can't remember correctly. We've got some other stuff, some top deck strategies, we've got some tournament reports, we've got Star Trek, Babylon 5, Rage, and Battletech going on here. So this was Wizards of the Coast's own magazine, so there's a bias in there as to what CCGs they actually cover, but it's quite interesting that they do cover other companies' CCGs in here. And then we got a quite inappropriately clad lady on the front cover. Yeah, holding an egg with a chicken, a rooster, very unglued. First page we get a giant double spread advert for Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. Absolutely love the CNC games, and yeah, Tiberian Sun was a fantastic addition to that. RTSs were definitely mine and my friend's bag back then. Championship decks, so they were pre-constructed decks that people had used in tournaments, and they were made them with gold borders and different coloured backs, so they couldn't be used in your own sort of Magic tournaments, that kind of thing. Mark Rosewater was the editor of this magazine, so that's quite interesting. Nice young looking photo of him up there. So he gets his opening editor spiel to go through. We then got all kinds of other bits, Pro Tour qualifier lists and where they're happening, letters from readers, even more adverts. There's lots and lots of adverts in here. Some general news, so other things that they're doing. So books, Netrunner, they used to own before. Why can I never remember the name of that company that did Android Netrunner, LCG, and X-Wing, all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, them, you know what I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about. That's going to really bug me. I'll have to try and figure it out. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, because Wizards of the Coast was the company that brought that out, possibly. Not particularly RPGing in my background. I quite like RPGs on consoles. I'm currently playing Octopath Traveler on the Switch, which is absolutely stunning. Really, really love that. So they've paired uncards with regular cards over here, so that's quite an interesting. That's going to be quite an interesting read. What they've sort of paired together, and then they've got uncards together with uncards as well. Timmy, the power gamer. That was pretty much true. Tim, myself, was very much a Tim in Magic. And then we got some deck lists. So we got clams and chickens, and I can't really see what the other one is. It's got elves and it's got spikes in it, so that looks pretty fun. 2 CD-ROMs for $4.95 each. Crazy buying games on CD-ROMs before it was all digital downloads. I know lots of people still like to get their physical collections of their video games. Video games seem to be like the last bastion that hasn't fully embraced digital. I mean, films, you download them or you rent them digitally. Music is pretty much Spotify or Apple Music, or you can still buy albums digitally. But video games, they seem to be clinging on to their physical copies of games. Seems to be the last bastion of that. I've just taken to downloading them for my Switch now to save the space. Can do without having them hanging around. Anyway, back to the magazine. Deck clinics. So someone writes in with a deck, and then people sort of take a look at it and see what they can switch it around and see if they can snazz it up a little bit. Rules and errata, because this was pre-internet pretty much. So this was how you got your banned and restricted list and any kind of FAQs and card erratas. More adverts. There's so many adverts in these old magazines. It's crazy. Looking back, I'm loving that there's this many adverts because it reminds me of what there was. But there was an old Magic the Gathering art book. So there was recently some art books for sets that came out, starting with, I want to say Innistrad maybe. So that's really interesting that it's actually an old idea. So there was the art of Magic the Gathering, the Wrath Cycle, and they did a calendar, 1999, Urza Saga calendar. That's pretty cool. Load of tournament news. look at the books. I loved it when they did magic novels. I read quite a few of them. In fact, it was in the back of a magic novel that you used to be able to tear off a little thing and write into wizards with it, and they would send you a card. And I remember I got a Serrated Arrows, and I absolutely love that card. It holds a very nostalgic place in my heart, even to this day. All kinds of stuff, so people talking about decks, and it gives you decks to try and build. Not that there was online buying of cards, so it was a lot harder to build decks to deck lists back then. It was much more sort of play with what you have, which is, yeah, the heart of the CCG movement, I feel. So a little bit about the Arsenal expansion for Mechwarrior, Battletech TCG. We've got, so this is the part all about the unset, unglued. So it's got a rundown of a lot of the artworks on it. It's got the full card list. So this was interesting. Before the internet and you could see what cards did, you used to have to refer to magazines like these, so it would tell you what Clanbassadors cost and what it did, etc. So you would have to refer to magazines like this to know exactly what was in the set if you needed anything. Sheep token as well. So unglued, this could very well have been the first unset. Unglued then unhinged, or was it unhinged then unglued? I'm sure I'll get angry comments down below telling me that I need to sort my magic knowledge out. Usually happens. So more tournament stuff. Some people looking very 90s, backwards baseball caps. We have got a bit about Star Trek CCG. Nothing in here about Star Wars CCG. I've noticed that, well, there's a little bit of a section here, but yeah, there's been articles about Star Trek, but nothing about Star Wars. Babylon 5, not too worried about that. Deep Space Nine, Deep Space Fine. So quite a big section on that, and we're coming towards the back, so there's probably going to be video game reviews here. Big advert for Battletech with a better look at some of the mechs and some of the cards for that. Anthology boxes. So these were something that were really cool. So it gave you a really nice collector's box to put things in. That was quite a long sort of card box, and then gave you sort of a sum up of the past few sets booster packs in it. So they were really cool. Never got one, sadly, but hey ho. More adverts for books, more adverts for tournaments, all kinds of other things. Magic Official Encyclopedia. I can't remember which one I've got. I think I might have the first encyclopedia, volume 1, but could be wrong. I might have a look at that on the channel at some point. And then we just go into final bits. So Duelist didn't actually include its own price lists, but you got price lists from various stores and traders in here, so you could look up what you wanted to trade with. And some of the other magazines that we'll be looking at, or have looked at, depending if there's a card up here in the top corner. If there is, we'll have already looked at it, and you can go and have a look at some of those better magic card price lists. At the back of this, this is something else I remember as well. So there were puzzles, so you would have like, how can this player beat that player, and you had to do sort of mental magic to try and win the game. So that was always good fun to try and work out, and then they gave you the answers. Don't know if that was the answer for that or if it was previous issues. Closing out, a little bit of a chat from Richard Garfield this time round, so that's really interesting. So yeah, guest article from him, the man himself. So that was the Duelist, October 1998. So quite a blast from the past. If you enjoyed that, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, do all the usual YouTube business like subscribing to the channel, etc. Absolutely smash that bell notification icon, or just tap it so that you get told when new videos come out on the channel. They're starting to come out quite regularly now. I've found a reignited passion for CCGs. There might be some magic content coming out soon, or we might just keep on this old school tip. You never know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you all soon. Cheers.